They said it was gone. They said that the $5,000 stimulus was dead after another empty promise, another political headline. But now it's back on the table, not just as a rumor, but as a real calculated possibility backed by clawbacks, tariffs, and executive power. Guys, we're talking about a second chance, a massive cash payout up to $5,000 per household, backed by savings from waste, fraud, and abuse slashed from deep inside of government. But there is a catch. It only happens if Trump's economic plan survives. If the so-called big, beautiful bill collapses under pressure from the media, from the left, or even from skeptical Republicans in his own party, this stimulus disappears for good. And what replaces it? Well, higher taxes, job losses, a massive recession. That's not speculation. In fact, that is straight from Peter Navarro. So today I want to break down all of the exact numbers behind the $5,000 payout, why Navarro says CBO is lying to your face, what Elon Musk and Trump are really fighting over, and more importantly, the secret mechanism Trump could use to deliver these checks without Congress. Oh yeah, we're going there. All right. So this might be our only shot, guys. And if we blow it, it's not just the stimulus that dies, it's the economy. So stick with me, because what you're about to hear, the mainstream media will not touch. By the way, if you appreciate the daily news updates, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support, guys. So let's start with the elephant in the room, shall we? Is this $5,000 stimulus check real or just another fantasy? Because for months, Americans have been asking the same thing. Have you been asking the question, are these stimulus checks really going to happen? Drop a 1 if you have been asking that same questions. A lot of people have been asking, where did the Doge dividend go? Well, now it's back on the table. And here's why. The original Doge dividend stimulus was pitched by Elon Musk when he was leading the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge for short. The idea was pretty simple, but it was revolutionary. If Doge could claw back $2 trillion in wasteful federal spending, then 20% of those savings, or $400 billion, would be returned directly to taxpayers. Can I get an amen for that one, right? Well, that would be $5,000 per household, or $5,000 per working household. Not just a handout, a refund, your money coming back home. Trump called it something we strongly are considering. Musk said, we will check with the president. And Speaker Mike Johnson just confirmed a second reconciliation bill is coming, which may include it. But don't get too comfortable yet, guys, because right now, according to the official Doge tracker, clawbacks stand at $175 billion. So this is enough to cut a check for about $200 to $300 per household today, not the full $5,000, but it's a start. So here's the kicker, though. Doge is still clawing back funds. The savings are growing. And if they can hit that $2 trillion target, boom, all of a sudden, the full $5,000 could become a reality. But only if Trump's plan survives. Because if the opposition shuts it down, well, no stimulus, no refunds, just more taxes and more pain for Americans. And speaking of Trump's plan, up next, I want to break down exactly what's inside this big, beautiful bill that could unlock this stimulus, and why Peter Navarro says it could flip the entire $1.7 trillion deficit into a $2 trillion surplus. You're not going to believe the numbers, guys. And sometimes all it takes is one phone call. Amy Best said, Ron, I called Chapter. Thank you so much. Julie from Kansas was scammed into a bad plan, but after calling Chapter, she's now saving $400 a year thanks to getting help from Chapter. Guys, they check every plan in your area. They make sure that your doctors are covered, and they help you to keep more of your money without charging you a dime. The call is completely free, and it could change everything. Give our friends at Chapter a call at 909-563-8279, or better yet, hit them up on the web at askchapter.org/Ron. Now, I want to talk about this engine driving this entire thing right now. Trump's big, beautiful bill. Now, some people call it controversial. Others call it the most pro-growth package in a generation. But here's what matters. It's the one vehicle that could make the $5,000 Doge check a reality. Let's be honest. So What is actually in this thing, right? Well, it's not just another tax bill. It's actually a complete rewiring of the economy from the bottom up. But here's what it does include. It includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on interest from car loans if you buy an American-made car, a $4,000 deduction for seniors on Social Security, major deregulation for businesses, making it easier to hire, produce, and expand, and more importantly, it's partially funded by tariff revenues and the Doge clawbacks we talked about earlier. That means less reliance on new taxes and more cutting waste and bringing industry back home. But now let's talk about what Peter Navarro just said, because this is where things get really interesting, guys. Peter Navarro isn't mincing words. He says the media and the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, are lying to you. The CBO says this bill will add to the deficit. Navarro says wrong. The real projections, if you score them accurately, the dynamic growth in tariff revenue show a shift from a $1.7 trillion deficit to a $2 trillion surplus. You heard that right, guys. He claims the CBO's models are outdated. They undercut growth and they ignore the impact of tariffs, which are already bringing in hundreds of billions of dollars. So Navarro even goes so far as to say that the full swing from growth and tariffs combined could be as high as $5 trillion. And if he's right, that is more than enough to fund multiple rounds of stimulus without raising any taxes by a single cent. Guys, but here's the problem. Not everybody agrees with this. And the fight brewing inside Congress right now, it could kill this entire thing. Now, of course, I'm going to show you guys exactly who's trying to sabotage the stimulus. Can you name a name? Does anybody have any idea who might be trying to sabotage the stimulus? I'm also going to talk about why Rand Paul and Ron Johnson are now waving red flags and how Republican infighting might destroy President Trump's plan before it even gets a vote. So stick around, guys, because it's about to get messy. Now, honestly, just go ahead and ignore this right now. Keep working 40 hours a week for a boss who forgets your name the second you clock out. Keep hoping that your magical promotion that buys you an extra $73 a paycheck before taxes comes in. Or you could click the link in the pinned comment down below or in the description down below and join a community that's actually building freedom on their own terms, guys. But hey, choice is yours. Keep grinding or start living. Click the link to our Liberty Pursuit Network in the pinned comment down below. So here's the brutal truth. Even though the stimulus is back on the table, even though Trump's big, beautiful bill could rewrite the economy, it could all fall apart quickly. Why? Because the resistance isn't just coming from the usual suspects. In fact, it's actually coming from inside Trump's own party. Let me go ahead and break that down for you. You got two big names leading the charge. Senator Rand Paul, Senator Ron Johnson. They're not buying it. Ron Johnson flat out called it a massive spending package that doesn't do enough to fix the debt. Rand Paul says the bill doesn't cut deep enough and may actually worsen inflation. And they're not alone in this thought process. The CBO, the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, and the Penn-Wharton budget model are all waving red flags. They say the bill adds trillions of dollars to national debt, tariffs won't generate enough revenue, and the projected growth is overly optimistic. Now, are they right? Peter Navarro would say absolutely not. He claims these institutions are using static scoring, essentially labeling them as outdated math that ignores how real economies respond to tax relief and deregulation. And let's not forget, guys, the same models underestimated the 2017 Trump tax cuts by $1.5 trillion. But even if Navarro is right, none of it matters if the GOP can't get its act together. So right now, the Republican Party is on the edge of a knife. The Freedom Caucus is split. Some want deeper spending cuts. Others say that the bill gives too many concessions. And a few even want to strip the Doge refunds out of the conversation entirely just to look more serious about the deficit. But here's what they're missing, guys. This is not about numbers. It's about delivering something real for the American people. It's about restoring faith in a system that's been bleeding people dry. And without unity, this entire bill goes up in flames. That includes the $5,000 Doge check, the tax relief for Social Security, and the core of Trump's entire economic vision. So now, of course, I want to show you guys the nuclear option that Trump still has on the table. But let me ask you this. Do you think Republicans will be able to pull this together? Or are they just going to blow this biggest opportunity that they've had in the last 10 years? I want you to comment below with a 47 if you want Trump to take executive action, or drop a 46 if you think Biden years brought better results. I'm watching in the comments down below. I want to see what you guys think about what's coming down the pipeline. Now, of course, I will reveal the one move that Trump could make on his own to deliver this stimulus without even waiting for Congress, and why Navarro says that this is the only path to avoid a full-blown economic collapse. So let's just say Congress fumbles the ball. Let's say the bill stalls, that the GOP fractures and the $5,000 Doge check gets killed in committee, right? Does this mean it's over? Well, not even close, because President Trump still has a nuclear option. So let's go ahead and get to it, right? During the pandemic, Trump did something that no one expected. He bypassed Congress entirely, and he used existing FEMA funds to extend unemployment relief to millions of Americans. He didn't need new funding. He didn't need congressional approval. He just reallocated funds that were already sitting there. And guess what? The Doge clawbacks are kind of the same money. I mean, they're not new spending. They're recaptured funds, unspent, retracted, or reclaimed from waste, fraud, and abuse, which means Trump could legally issue Doge dividend checks via executive action right now if the political will is there. And let's be honest, guys, if Congress won't move, if the Freedom Caucus plays chicken with the American middle class, Trump may decide to go full executive mode and get those checks out the door himself. But here's the warning. If none of this gets done, if the big, beautiful bill gets gutted, if the clawbacks are buried in bureaucracy, if Trump's plan dies in committee or under the weight of bad forecasting, Navarro says the fallout will be catastrophic. You're looking at massive tax hikes under a Biden-led coalition, exploding deficits that will kill investor confidence, and a deep recession. In fact, he said a recession so deep it will make 2008 look like a soft landing. Peter Navarro's exact words. The alternative is unacceptable. It's apocalyptic, and the bond market already sees it coming. He's not playing politics here, guys. He's warning America that without this plan, without growth, and without clawbacks, it all collapses. But there's one more shot. The exact timeline for the next reconciliation bill, the key players in Congress deciding its fate, and the one date, July 9th, that could decide whether you ever see a Doge check at all. Now, if you care about what happens to your wallet this year, do not miss what I'm about to share with you guys right now. So now you're probably asking, when is this all going down? When could the $5,000 Doge check actually become real, right? And what should you be watching to know if it's about to happen or about to die? Well, let's go ahead and break it down. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, confirmed it himself. A second reconciliation bill is coming. This could be the only viable path left to include the Doge Dividend Refund Checks in official legislation. Here is why this matters. The first reconciliation bill, the so-called Big Beautiful Bill, was too full, too contested, and it left the Doge check out. The second bill is being designed right now, and it's being built to include more aggressive Doge cuts, more fiscal restraint, and possibly direct refund language. This means we are in fact entering a critical window where the second bill either includes the $5,000 stimulus or it buries it for good. And that means essentially this brings us to some very key dates and events you need to be watching for. So make sure you got a pen, put this on your calendars, guys. Here's what's coming next. July 9th. The 90-day tariff pause expires. That means new tariffs could dramatically increase Doge funding and offset program costs. Now, there's a potential Musk-Trump phone call. Navarro hinted that this could still happen. Now, if they reconcile, expect public endorsement of the Doge dividend from both sides. Senate negotiations could, their Senate negotiations are going to watch closely for statements from key players like Rand Paul, Ron Johnson, Freedom Caucus members. These are the names most likely to try and block stimulus language. New fiscal reports, updates from Doge on clawback totals could change everything overnight. Guys, if Doge hits $500 billion, you're suddenly looking at a $1,250 check instead of $300. So here's the deal. If the second reconciliation bill passes with Doge refund language in it, if Trump stays on offense, if Musk jumps back in, if Navarro's numbers hold, you could see that $5,000 check before the end of the year. But if they don't, if Trump's plan gets blocked, if the data gets buried in the swamp winds, you'll get nothing. No refund, no tax break, no protection from what's coming. Here's the bottom line, guys. The $5,000 stimulus check or the $5,000 stimulus is back on the table. The math works if Trump's plan in full survives. The clawbacks are real. The legislation is coming and executive action is on standby, but it only happens if Trump's plan doesn't get sabotaged. It only happens if the GOP unifies. It only happens if you stay loud, informed, and essentially engaged in what's happening. Of course, mainstream media doesn't want to talk too much about this. So let me ask you guys, do you want to see that $5,000 check arrive? Do you want Washington to finally return your money and stop the bleeding? Drop a 47 in the comments. Let me know that let them know. Forget me. Go over my head, okay, guys? Drop a 47 in the comments and let them know that you are watching and you're not buying their lies anymore. And of course, if you found this breakdown helpful, smash the like button, hit the subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to know what's really at stake here, because this is not just a political debate. This is your future. This is your wallet and possibly your last shot at real economic relief. Until next time, appreciate your support and check out my previous videos. See you next time.